All right, apologies for the late video, long day at work, but the Padres, they have 3 Silver Sluggers this year. Jackson Merrill, Jurickson Profar, and Manny Machado. Congratulations to all 3 of them. Merrill obviously should win the Rookie of the Year coming up in less than a week. I think next Monday is when they're going to announce that on MLB Network. I think November 18th, if I remember correctly. So he is the right pick. In my opinion, he is the only pick. Yes, Paul Skeens will get picks, but we know who the real Rookie of the Year is. And for him to win the Silver Slugger in the National League in center field in his first year, that's pretty incredible. We already know, like those that watch Jackson day in, day out, we know how talented of a player he is. But it's nice that he gets the consideration, or I should say the recognition, with an award like this for his offensive year. And I'll read through some of the numbers here for all 3 of these guys. 24 homers. He almost hit 300. His OPS was 826. His OPS plus was 27% above league average. Obviously, he was an all-star. He had a 4.4 baseball reference WAR. It was probably higher on Fangraphs. He drove in 90 runs, scored 77. And what stood out for me this year with Merrill offensively was a couple of things. The opposite field power. We saw that at Fenway. We saw that multiple times this year, obviously. But also his ability to come through in those clutch situations. That, I know, is a 10-game stretch, and that's, it's 10 games. I get it. But that was incredible what he did in those clutch situations in like that 10-game span where it was, 8th inning against the Marlins or against the Pirates, where it was either the go-ahead run or the game-tying run late, and homered in those situations. The walk-off homers against Edwin Diaz and Mason Miller, right? The homer against Blake Trinan in, I think it was the 8th or 9th inning, to tie it up at Petco in one of the regular season games before I think it was Solano that walked it off. He just had that clutch. Is it clutch gene? I don't know the right way to say it, but he just has that in him. He doesn't shrink in the big moments. He views it as, some people probably are like, oh man, so much pressure. And they may think about that as they're going up to the plate. Jackson doesn't do that. He's probably thinking the opposite of pressure. He's probably thinking, nah, this is a great freaking opportunity to come through for my team and help us win this baseball game and make thousands of people happy in this city. What a great opportunity that is. So I'm obviously super happy that Jackson was able to get this award, rightfully so, well-deserved. And, talk about deserving Jurickson Profar to get some shine as well. We obviously know he was an all-star just like Merrill was in Texas. But for him to take home an award like this when his career, I think he would say this, he hasn't lived up to the hype, and it was a lot of hype, going into Jurickson Profar's career. So for him to be able to come through like this past season for the Padres, on, obviously, as it's been talked about a bunch, a $1 million salary, and he comes through and has 85 ribbies and 24 home runs, an OPS plus over 30% above league average. His OPS 839, his slugging was over 450. And yes, those that want to look at things glass half empty, they're going to bring up well, look at the second half, first half splits. But what I care about is, did Jurickson Profar help the Padres get to the postseason this year? The answer is definitely yes. And did I want Profar to do more in the postseason? Of course. And I could say that same thing about Manny, Merrill in some spots. Like, yeah, look, they went 24 consecutive innings without scoring a run. Of course they should have done better and could have done better, right? We wanted them to do better. But as for the regular season Silver Slugger award, yeah, Profar is very well deserving of this. And it's just great, that thing of in life, in sports, just keep going, right? If you believe in yourself, keep going. And one day you will be able to get there. And Profar, with this perseverance, and all it takes is that one team to believe in you. And the Padres are that one team for Profar in his career, that they believe in him. It's a great fit there, and he's comfortable. So obviously, him being a free agent, we'll see what happens. But I hope that the Padres and him are able to work something out here, because I want him being in left field for this Padres team. If he's not the starting left fielder and he's somewhere else, it's going to feel really weird. I'll say that. If someone else comes in, I don't really care who it is, and they're in left field and Profar is playing for name a team. It wouldn't sit great. It was weird when and Padres fans that want to hate on Will Myers, you can do whatever you want. But it was weird when Will Myers played for the Cincinnati Reds after playing for the Padres all those years. It's just it would be weird. Now Profar obviously didn't play as long as Will did with the Padres. I get that, but I think Padres fans, we have an attachment to guys, and Profar is one of those guys. We don't have an attachment to every Padre, obviously, that wears the uniform. But Profar, I think, is one of those special guys. I think of some of the offensive moments this year. The Mr. Relevant Sunday Night Baseball hit off the wall, right? The go-ahead hit. The Nationals moments, obviously. The walk-off there. The grand slam that he hit as well. Well-deserving. He came through in some clutch situations as well. These guys, they were just fun to watch this year. And obviously, it sucks the way that it ended, obviously. But as we get to Manny here as the third Silver Slugger, talk about someone who continues to amaze, continues to be fun to watch. That's Manny Machado. And I know the first half of the year, it didn't go the way that we wanted it to. It didn't go the way that he wanted it to. He was obviously pissed off, but he was coming back from the elbow surgery. And I've never had an elbow surgery, but to expect someone to come back from that and be themselves out of the gate, that's probably not very fair to that person. But he's getting paid a lot of money, and we're watching, and he's on the field. If you're on the field, you're healthy to a lot of fans, and that's understandable. And Manny was pissed, and he turned it around, and he won. Think about this: recovering from the elbow, having a bad first half, he still wins the Silver Slugger. And by the way, it was very well deserved over, I think it was Alec Boehm. I forget who the other, maybe it was Ryan McMahon. I forget who the other third base nomination was. But I remember putting out a tweet when those nominations came out, putting their stats to, comparing Manny with the other guys. And he was leading in a lot of the major categories. Again, coming back, and that's included the bad first half. That I wasn't just looking at second half numbers. He was one of the best in baseball in the second half. That was MVP Manny Machado. Imagine if he can do that and be healthy all of next year. That would be a pretty special year, and that may end up, well, obviously, there's Shohei, there's talented guys in this league, so I don't want to say it would be like a slam dunk MVP, but it would be top 3 MVP for sure. He's that good, and I know this is the Silver Slugger award, but I do want to add, because he obviously wasn't a finalist for the Gold Glove this year, but I still want to add that he was really fun to watch defensively as well. And I know that he got penalized because he wasn't at third base as much as other third basemen, but some of the plays that he made, that Cardinal series in St. Louis, that was ridiculous. Some of the plays that he made over the dugout, the backhand plays, that it would take some guys 10 steps to round themselves to get a good throw, and he does it in like 2 or 3 steps as he's going towards the bleachers, down the third baseline. Like, he's just ridiculous. So I hope that we can appreciate Manny Machado. Have I gone on Manny Machado at times? Yeah. But you guys know me, those that have watched the channel. I'm a glass half full person with this Padres team. So for me to get on Manny, it's because I love the team and I want Manny. I know that Manny can be better than how he is in some of those situations. But overall, I love Manny Machado being a San Diego Padre. He can be my third baseman every day of the week, and I'm happy that he is. And yeah, a well-deserved Silver Slugger, in my opinion, in comparison to the other third baseman. He had and again, this is all of 2024. So this is his bad first half as well. He almost hit 30 home runs still, 29 homers. Remember, he has the franchise all-time home run record now. Hit 275. He still drove in over 100 runs. His OPS plus was still 20% above league average. Imagine if he can be healthy this next season. That would be so huge. And we know he posts. Like, that's another thing that I admire about him, is that it doesn't really matter what the injury is. He's going to do his all to get out there on the field. He may not be, you know, uh, definitely not 100%, which not many guys, really anyone is, right? Until the next day one of spring training starts. But I mean, I've had Greg Garcia on the show talking about how he's on the trainer's table, Manny, like 10 minutes before the game, and he makes it. And they didn't really know if Manny was going to play. He was obviously dealing with something, but that's just who he is. He's going to be on the field. And the leading by example in that way. And I think, and I know I'm kind of going off here, off the path because this is Silver Slugger, but the leadership I think we saw, it feels like it continues to get better every year. That moment in game 2, it sucks that they didn't win that series because I think we would have remembered that moment more. But game 2, when everything is, being thrown at the Padres, the end of that half inning, he gathers everyone around in that dugout. I don't know what was said there, but probably keep the main thing the main thing. Don't worry about what's going on outside, and let's go beat them. Maybe some choice words in there, but I assume that's part of what the message was there from Manny, and that's a real captain move right there. And what happened? The Padres ended up smashing the Dodgers in that game. Obviously, unfortunately, they weren't able to close that series out, but Manny is our captain. Some may not like that, but coming off of this year, yeah, I like that. Will he say I should have done more in the postseason? Yeah. But if we're going to get back to the Silver Slugger thing, this is a regular season award, and Manny Machado deserved it over who else was there in the National League amongst third basemen. So that's what I've got on this. Congratulations to all three of those guys, Jackson, Jurickson, and Manny. We'll see if Merrill and Profar are still left field and center field. Manny, hopefully he'll be starting at third base come opening day and won't be having a DH a lot. And hopefully he can come up with a huge 2025 season. All of those guys, unless Profar's, not in a Padre uniform.